What's going on, family? If you are in this video module, you are here because you have decided to create a maternity photo shoot idea that is in honor or remembrance of someone you love. So this can be mom, this can be dad, this can be grandma, grandpa, whoever has may have passed away in your life, and you want to include them in your maternity photo shoot idea. This video is for you. So we're going to get straight into it. If you have not already, pull up your perfect maternity photo shoot idea mood board template in Canva. If you don't have a Canva account, I suggest pausing this video, go ahead and creating you a Canva account, and then also pausing this video and go ahead and creating you a Pinterest account, because you are going to need both for today's mood board creation. So if you have both of these accounts, you already downloaded your template, you already have a Pinterest account, you are good to go. We're gonna get started. But if you have not, pause this video, go ahead and make that happen. Create the Canva, create the Pinterest account, and we're gonna get straight into it. So if you remember, the whole goal of what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a unique maternity photo shoot idea for you that you can give to your photographer to execute. This is not for you to execute. This is for you to say, hey, this is the idea I want to do. Can you execute it or can you not execute it, right? But if you want to, you do it yourself. But remember, you want to save yourself time. So our goal today is to create a mood board based on a unique idea that's created for you that you can make for your photographer. So I want you to go on Pinterest, and the first thing we're going to do, just to kind of set us up for success, is we're going to create a new Pinterest board. So you can just hit the plus icon. This is great for desktop. I would suggest that you view this on desktop and not do this on your phone. You can do it on your phone, but it's easier on a desktop or maybe even a tablet. So we want to create a new Pinterest board. And I want you to name the Pinterest board based on who you want to remember, or what are you trying what is the theme, or who are you trying to remember, right? So for example, I'm gonna do a recent idea created for a client where she wanted to remember her father that passed away. Right. So, she wanted to remember her father that passed away, and she wanted to do a Doberman Pinscher idea, right? So you kind of gotta, you know, I would suggest you to have the person that you want to remember, and some key things that they like to do, what they like to wear, where they like to be. I had another mom that wanted to include her grandmother in there, so we decided to create her grandmother's living room. So, you know, it all depends on what you're trying to do, right? It all depends on what you're trying to do, how you're trying to do it. So as I'm thinking about it, I think it'd be honestly cool to do the grandma idea. So we want to do, I'm gonna put for my name, it's title of my board, I'm gonna do grandma, um, honoring grandma maternity photo shoot idea, right? And we can keep it secret. You can keep your board secret. And we don't need to save any of these pins or anything. It may have some pins that pop up, you may not. The next thing you want to do is you want to create what we call a subboard, or what we call, and here they may call a section. So a section is very important because we need sections to separate different elements or different pieces of our maternity photo shoot. So, for example, the first section that I want you to create is the background section, and this section is for putting pins, and pins are just pictures that you see, pins that are background ideas that you like. And then we're going to create another section for wardrobe, different wardrobe items that you like, right? Then we're going to create another section for hair and makeup for different hair and makeup options you may want to do, right? And then we're going to create another section um, that has to go with the elements. So what elements would you like to do, right? What elements would you like to have in your maternity photo shoot? And when I say elements, I mean props, right? So this can be phones, flowers, suitcases, TVs, remotes, you name it, you got it, right? So you kind of want to have some information about the person. So when I'm thinking about the idea that we were going to create for uh, the client, one of my potential clients' grandmother, that honors her grandmother, is that I had asked her a couple questions. She said that one of her favorite rooms in her grandmother's house was the living room. So, we wanted to recreate a old school retro living room, right? So I want you to kind of think about the person that you want to remember? And do you have any shared places that you guys used to go? Do you have any shared, rooms that you guys used to lay in? Do you have any things you guys you wanted to do together? Think about that, right? Just think about all those things, and that will help us begin to create the maternity photo shoot idea. So we're honoring grandma. We want to kind of go old school, uh, old school vibes, right? And if grandma's favorite place, if her favorite place to be her grandma was in the living room, then I want to try to recreate grandma's living room. And you can do the same, right? And you can try to recreate an area that you and whoever you want to honor or remember used to hang out at, used to be, whatever you think is good for you two. I want you to just begin to build on that. So I'm gonna use my grandmother's age. She's 60 years old. So, 23 years, 60 years ago was 19, let's see, 23 years ago was 2000. I mean, we got let's see, 37 more years. No, no, 37 more years. So, um, 2000 minus 37 is going to give us 1963. So I want to look up 1963 aesthetic, or like what were the type of things. And this is the first part. This is research, right? I want to find like different aesthetics, or 1963 furniture that they used to have, or just you know different types of um, things. So this article is giving me the most popular design style from the decade you were born. So if I'm recreating my 1960s. My grandma was born in 1963. So when I'm recreating the 60s, I just want to, you know, see what did the living rooms back in 1960s look like, right? I just want to kind of get an idea. And this is the research part. This is the research part of what you want to do. So I see 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, mid-century modern. Okay, so this we got the carpet floors. Uh, we got these type of couches. Okay, so I see what we are going with. I see kind of get an idea. So, once I, kind of have an idea and I did some research, you can research even deeper, like, what was in 1960s living rooms. You just want to research things based on where you and the person used to go, what you and the person used to do, just all that. You want to kind of research things based on what you are trying to remember, right? So now let's see, we had bright colors, wallpapers, wooden walls, and a big sectional sofa. Okay, got you. So if that was large areas such as sofas, beds, carpets, drapes, wall covers, and bright and colored patterns, well, okay. Right. So a lot of wall patterns, a lot of those different things. So what I want to do, I want to come back to pictures, and pictures is gonna now we want to build the idea. We want to build the idea. Pictures is going to give us a lot of great visualizations to build the idea, so we can then finalize the idea and put it in the mood board. So we're gonna look up 1960s living room, right? I see that is mid-century. Mid-century. Okay, so now I'm trying to find, some inspiration for my background. So I want to recreate my grandmother's living room, and even if you have an idea, right? Even if you have a picture of where you and that person used to be, you could even tell your photographer to try to recreate that area, right? You tell your photographer to try to recreate that area. So we're looking for a 1960s family room, right? 1960s family room idea that we can pull from, right? 1960s family room idea we can pull from. And I'm just looking for some that I like, some that I like, right? Let's see. Let's type in 1960s, mid-century vintage. I know we have a lot of carpet. We have, right, since I don't have an actual picture of the living room that I'm recreating, um, I just want to find pins that replicate what we could possibly do. Okay, cool. So, vintage living room, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save this pin in my board. So you just hit save, and then we want to save it in the background board, right? We want to save it in the background board. We want to save it in the background board, and then we also want to, let me just find another one that I could potentially use or rock off of, as I like to say. Mm, This is giving real 1960s ish with the wallpaper and all these different things. So I will take these ideas right here. I'm just going to put this in the board as well. So I would suggest find about 3 to 5 pins based on the background that you want to, like backgrounds that you like or you feel like work best for you. Now we need to find elements. So what are some things that were in 19 living room items, right? So I would suggest, getting pictures of, let's see, I love these wooden ugly end tables. I mean middle tables, right? So we can save this because I want to, and when we finalize the idea, I'm going to let the photographer know, like, hey, this is, the type of things I want in my photo. So a lot of these pictures already have um, ideas in the photo, right? Or like elements in the photo, but we can literally find more elements. So if you have a picture of you and that person and you want to put them in the shoot, I think that would be a good thing for you to do. Um, any items or things you and that person may used to wear or maybe like to eat, you want to put that in the shoot because that will really create the character of the shoot for you and that person, right? For you and that person. Okay. So I want you to find about 3 to 5 things that you could potentially put in the background, and 3 to 5 things you could potentially put in the elements part. Now we want to find wardrobe that's inspired, right? So um, one thing I think about is, what did they used to wear back then, and how can you incorporate it um, with what you wear, right? So 1960s fashion. This may be a good idea for you to wear, the skirt with the um long, I believe, like long sleeves. Let's see some more 1960s fashion that you could possibly wear because you really want to set the character. Mm, you really want to set the character in the maternity photo shoot, and you want it to really be different. And if you want to truly honor that person, you need to, you know, find wardrobe or find, outfit inspirations that um, kind of replicate what that time period used to do. So your stylist, your photographer, should be able to help you find a stylist that can help you put together the look that replicates the unique idea that you want to do. So even just like 1960s fashion like this, right? This is, very different. But these are the outfits that they wore during that time period, and you can have the stylist style it to match you and what you like to do or what you want to do, right? I see like the long sleeve tops and um, skirts was like a thing. So this is a perfect example right here. All these different wardrobe ideas that you could potentially do that can help you create a maternity photo shoot idea that's unique to you. And then we want to find 1960s hair, 1960s hair. And if you're following along, you can literally do the same thing for your person. So if you guys always love to go to you know, you guys always love to, sit in the rocking chair in your bedroom. You can recreate that bedroom if you know what it looks like. If you guys always had a shared hobby like fishing, you can recreate the background of like a favorite fishing place that you guys used to do, right? I know I'm creating one specific idea, but the principles and the strategies are the same when it comes to creating an idea in general. So if we look at some of the 1960s hairstyle, I'm just gonna say this because this is Megan, and a lot of people know who she is, so we can say that. I see these are like different 1960s hairstyles that you can include in your pictures, your final idea, right? And you should get creative with it. Step outside your comfort zone and do some stuff that is different, because this will allow. This is what makes your maternity photo shoot unique. Is when you actually get into character and you make your photo shoot look different. Okay, so everything needs to be in character. Everything needs to be in character. If you guys had a favorite restaurant you used to go to, maybe you can dress like you work at the restaurant. If you guys had a favorite place, like you just like to sit in the living room, maybe you can wear 1960s pajamas. Remember I'm using 1960 because that's when my grandmother was born. But you could tailor it towards your person that you want to honor, right? So let's go 1960s jewelry. Just kind of looking at some other things that we could possibly include in maternity photo shoot. I'm looking at like diamonds and pearls and all them different things. So you can include that, right? You can include those different jewelry options in your maternity photo shoot, right? And then 1960s makeup. I'll typically suggest all my moms keep a natural, like soft glam, because I don't want your face to take away with all the different colors and eyeshadow colors and all that. So I do typically suggest a soft glam. So now that we have created um, we built our idea inside of Pinterest, we can then finalize the idea so that we can give it to a photographer. So you want to go over to Canva, and I have this template pulled up because I create an idea for a baby shower, but I just kind of want to walk you through. We have the title page, and then after the title page, we have the goal of this idea, and then you have you or your person and where your shoot is at, the aesthetic, how you want your set to look, your pose you want to do, the wardrobe you want to wear, the makeup that you have, and how you want your hair, right? And a lot of my clients, they have breakfast with me, but you don't have to use that slide, of course, and then the thank you that you send to your photographer, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to change this title to, mine is going to be honoring grandma. Yours can be honoring dad. Yours can be honoring whoever, but whoever you want to represent or honor in your maternity photo shoot, you want to change the title to that so you can give it to your photographer and they can have it. I suggest that you split your screens on Mac. It's pretty easy for me because you're going to start taking screenshots of the things you put in your pictures board and putting them inside of, your maternity, photo shoot idea, right? Mood board. So what I'm gonna do is I want to change the cover photo. So let me just find, a pen that we had where we can change the cover photo. Let's see. Let's do the wardrobe options, right? And you can put it to whatever you want to put it as, but um. Just make sure you put a cover. It could be a picture of you. It could be, whatever you decide to put on there would work. Okay. So now the goal of this idea is that the point of this slide is to the photographer can have a written example of what we are trying to accomplish. So the goal of this idea is to create a idea is that shows my love for my grandma and remember the fun times we had in her living room, right? My grandma who passed away, and remember the fun times we had in her living room. So when you photographer sees this mood board that you're going to send to them, it's okay. I understand the goal of her, understand the goal of the couple, what they're trying to accomplish. So it's important that you take your time and do this slide, right? And then you can change the photos out of, yourself. Put some photos of yourself, put your Instagram name in there, and all those different things that, you want to accomplish. Okay, so I'm just going to use a picture off of Pinterest. Um, picture off of Pinterest. Right, a couple pictures off of Pinterest. I'm going to keep my wife's name on there. You can change your name, put your name right there. It would be so important to do, right? Boom. And then you change your name out. So put where you're shooting at, or if you don't know yet, then it's okay. You can leave that blank. Now you want to take 3 pictures from your Pinterest board that kind of show the aesthetic that you're going for. So it's super easy to do. So I would just take some of the pictures I've already used and also include a picture of the set I want my photographer to create. So I would just take this picture and I will go back to my Pinterest board and I will find the set that I, possibly want to recreate. And we can find another one. Let's just use some of the wardrobe that we have. Okay. So we're going like a 1960s living room aesthetic. You want to change the name of your aesthetic, so 1960s living room is the aesthetic you want the photographer to accomplish, right? So we have our aesthetic. Now we need to outline our set. So I want to take a picture of the set, the picture of the background that I like the most. So choose a picture from the background element that you like the most. We already have our color palette in there. You can change these dots based on the color palette that you have. And I just want to kind of annotate to show the photographer what we're looking to accomplish. So we want wallpaper background, wallpaper on the walls, right? And then we can copy this, and I want to annotate. We want vintage couches. We want vintage couches. We want vintage couches. And then I can just find some more of the things I have in the elements and put them in there. So, I would love to have like some vintage. I would love to have some vintage lamps. And we're just annotating for the photographer so they know exactly what um, you want to accomplish, right? So we want some vintage lamps, and then another thing we can annotate is we definitely want that 1960s carpet, right? We want that 1960s carpet, and we want vintage carpet. We want the vintage carpet. Yes, we definitely want the vintage carpet. Okay, so now that we have our set, we need to find some poses, right? So let's go into, let's type in like whatever you feel like your theme is poses, right? So we don't have to do the typical maternity photo shoot poses, but in my case, I would do vintage maternity photo shoot poses. And we're going to see what kind of pops up, right? And all of these are going to be like those candid photo shoot pose ideas. So what I would possibly do is type in 1960s women, and I just want to see how they stand. And if you can get ideas of how they stand, then you will be able to have your photographer um, put you. I want to say put you in this pose in a way that is shows that you're pregnant. So, for example, this pose that I'm screenshotting, instead of holding this bag, I would keep her hand out, but I would have my mom put a hand, top of her belly or lower her belly, right? So same thing for you. Like you want to find some general poses, and you want to also put how do you want to feel when you're posing. So you want to feel. I know mom will want to feel vintage. She will want to definitely feel happy, and she will also want to feel the love of grandma, the love of grandma. So we want to find different posing ideas that were from back in that time, just how those women used to stand, and how we can take those and make them into maternity photo shoots. So you want to find general standing poses, right? But your photographer can take those general standing poses and make them into poses that you know work for maternity. Okay, so let's just see. For example, I could type in um, let's see, vintage models. Right, we can just see how did they used to stand back then. What type of poses did they used to do? And if you're going to have that element, look how cute this pose is right here. All right, these are the type of poses you want to do. Right, so you just will screenshot those and put them into your board. Boom, that's perfect. Now we want to go into the wardrobe. So for the wardrobe, we already created a board for the different type of wardrobes that we want to wear. Okay, so we're just going to take the board, and I actually love this kind of dress that she has on. I feel like this could work in the Pinterest. I'm sorry, in the Pinterest, in the outfit world. I feel like your stylist should be able to do the whole long sleeve shirt and skirt, you know, styling type of thing. I feel like your stylist should be able to do that. And we can take another one from out of here. I love, the business kind of attire, right? The business attire. But oops, we couldn't find that page. The business attire. Excuse me. The business attire that you could possibly wear. Let's go. Think about it. If we're in the living room, we can go like also look up 1960s pajamas. If you want to have that living room feeling, we see the type of pajamas they used to wear back then. Right? So if you want that 1960s feeling, you know. So our options are flowy dresses, um, vintage PJs, or long sleeve and skirt options. Okay. And then for our makeup, I always tell my moms to do a natural face. I'm going to leave this blank. So natural soft glam or natural no face glam is what they call it. And then you will enter any type of hairstyle that you want. But for this example, remember we have already created a hairstyle and makeup um, idea. So you can just literally screenshot or download however you get the photos over to your pictures board, screenshot them, and I will put it here like vintage hairstyle. So vintage hairstyle, whatever may be vintage to you. But I love these 1960s inspired hairstyles. So that's what I would be screenshotting. But whatever hairstyle works for you in your setting for the person that you want to remember. is very important. So as we look at the board, what we want to do is to send this to the photographer. We literally just would hit share, public view, and just send them the link, right? It would be that easy. But now we have our perfect maternity photo shoot idea that's unique to us that we now can give to the photographer so that they can execute it for you. So it's very important that we understand that we got our title, we got the goal. This is an important slide. If you did not do this slide, make sure you go back and do it. Um, you, of course, or you and your spouse, where you desire to shoot at. If you don't have nowhere to shoot at, then you will leave the side blank, or you can take it out. And then your aesthetic, this is important. The set design, you want to be able to communicate in the board to your photographer. This is what I want. This is how I want the scene to look. This is one of the poses I want to do. This is the wardrobe options I have. This is the makeup I have. This is how I want my hair to possibly be, right? And now that the worst thing to do is send a photographer idea off Instagram and say, hey, this is what I want to do. And then when you get to the shoot, they don't execute exactly what you wanted because the expectation wasn't set correctly from the beginning. So this board is so important because it allows you to set the expectation of what you want first and give it to the photographer, and now there's no miscommunication. So once you have your mood board, it's time for you to send it to the photographer. Now, if you're looking at all of this and you don't want to go find stuff for your maternity photo shoot idea, like finding where to get the stuff at for the set, making the set, find a hairstylist, find a makeup artist, find a wardrobe stylist. If you don't want to do any of these things, we are an all-inclusive maternity photo shoot company that specializes in photographing married expecting parents, and we do all the work for you. So if you want to enjoy that stress-free convenience and you want that all-inclusive experience, I would suggest you to click on the next slide, click on the last slide where you can click the button to, or click the link, the button to apply for our all-inclusive maternity photo shoot with us so we can make you the inspiration and do all of the work for you. So if you're a very expecting couple and this sounds good to you, click the last side, click the link, apply for a maternity photo shoot with us, and we'll be looking forward to getting to you. Bye bye.